Aren't these shoes so cute? Yeah. Okay, I got these Lisa Frank Crocs on Amazon. Well, from Zappos. I saw them on Amazon and I wanted them because they were super cute. And Lisa Frank brings back so many memories. The designs are vibrant. Who doesn't love a good Lisa Frank moment? But the price point was not speaking to me. So I waited and waited and waited for them to put them on sale. By the time they were on sale, I needed a size 9. All they had available was a size 8. I bought the size 8 with my fingers crossed, hoping that because it was open back and open toe, I would still be able to fit them. But my little piggies were being squozen. Okay, they were not comfortable at all. I walked in them for a day trying to let them mold to my toes and stretch them out a little bit, but they just did not stretch. I guess with the sale, I wasn't able to return them. So luckily for us, we also have an eBay store. Whenever I buy something that doesn't work and I can't return it, I just list it up and hope it goes to someone else, hope someone else wants it. So that's what you'll see me doing here. You'll see me listing the item on eBay, taking the pictures, setting the price right in the description. You'll see me say that these shoes are used. I put that because I did walk around in them. And I was also taking pictures of the back of the shoe so that people could see that they had been walked on, but otherwise they were still new in great condition. But while we watch me list this item, which sold really in I think about 24 to 48 hours, and then pack up this order, let's talk about the Lisa Frank documentary. I had no idea that there were such problems surrounding Lisa Frank. Mama, did you know that?
No, I did not. I mean, as a matter of fact, my friends and I also were crazy about Lisa Frank when we were in middle and high school.
So Lisa Frank founded her company in 1979. First, she started selling jewelry and then stickers, and the company became super popular in the 80s and the 90s. We watched the Glitter and Greed, the Lisa Frank story documentary, so y'all don't have to. As with any documentary, it opened with the background explaining who Lisa Frank was. Everyone who saw her described her as thin with big hair, very colorful, nothing matched, and she was her brand. So the colors that you see on Lisa Frank merchandise are the colors that Lisa Frank wore. The documentary said that Lisa Frank made $600 million a year on her products. In the beginning, all the artists were talking about how much they enjoyed creating these designs, how they were free to do whatever. Everything was supposed to be colorful unicorns and rainbows. However, when James Green joined the company, things took a left. James Green was Lisa Frank's business partner, and eventually he became her husband. Everyone who talked about James Green said that he was a problem. They called him a tyrant. Now, James made an appearance on this documentary, and he said that those people were not lying. He says that he was Lisa Frank. He says he built the company, although it did exist before he got there. He says he's the one who took it to where it was. Now, it's important to note that Lisa and James got married, and James said it was Lisa's idea, that he was not really checking for her like that, but it just made sense at the time.
Is that the same thing as Columbus discovery in America when
Oh
it was
my God,
already
Mama!
here?
Why would she say that? Yeah, that's sounding, discovering what's already there. After James Green came on the picture, that's when the employees started to disclose some of their grievances with the company. For example, they said that they were making $8.25 an hour, and they even took pay cuts. Now, $8.25 in the 80s or the 90s was of course better, seeing the minimum wage now in many states is still 7.25. 8.25 was much better, but if you're thinking about somebody who's making 600 million off of these designs, they could have definitely stood to pay their employees more because there weren't that many employees, right? And some of the Employees noted that they felt like they had to choose between making a living and following their dreams. Lisa Frank was the first company that gave them the chance to express themselves through art, but they also were refusing to pay them. And some of them, remember that one lady, she was a mom, and she said she was on food stamps, but pulling more than 40 hours a week at Lisa Frank.
Yeah, because other factors to consider were the size of the family, cost of living, and I mean, where was this based? In New York?
I don't know. Did they tell us? Because I didn't really pay attention to
They
that.
did, but I would have to refresh my memory on that. But it's not like where we live, where the cost of living is not that expensive, except for the price of eggs these days.
Yeah. So back to James. James was a self-proclaimed control freak. He says, this says, I remember notes. He said he took the company. So people said that after Lisa and James got married, she gave him the company. He says he took it.
Well, she only gave him 49 shares.
Yeah, and she retained 51%. I'm guessing the change happened because after 1995, she had both of her kids, Hunter and Forrest, green, and everybody made a big joke about it because Lisa Frank is so colorful. She married a man with a color for a last name, and apparently the tiger and two of the main animals in her designs are for her kids. One is Hunter, one is Forrest. Hunter doesn't like her. Hunter is her son, and Hunter does not like Lisa Frank. He appeared on the documentary with his dad, and he said that Lisa has never done anything for him. He would die for his dad, and he didn't say he wouldn't spit on his mom if she was on fire, but the way he was talking, yeah, I'm thinking the fire extinguisher would not come out if she needed it. I don't even think he remind her to stop, drop, and roll. It's funny though that he loves his dad so much because James said that he was not excited to be a dad and that he only spent time with them on the weekends and he preferred to give his all to the company. What did you think about the HR manager, Rhonda? Should I give you some more a refresher on Rhonda?
Oh no, I know Miss Thang.
For those of you who didn't watch the documentary, Rhonda was the HR manager, and most people who ended up having a problem went to Rhonda. And if Rhonda didn't care about the problem,
she didn't care about anybody's
Rhonda was
problem.
firing people left and right. She said she fired so many people that whenever new people would go in for an interview, she would ask them, "Have you heard about the company? Have you heard anything about us? If so, what have you heard?" Now that's a red flag to me.
You know, I would say that James was Rhonda's Jim Jones.
I don't get the reference.
He would do anything for him.
Is Jim Jones the Kool-Aid guy?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Yeah, because there was scuttlebutt that Rhonda and James were
involved.
Yes, involved. So there was a man, one of the other workers, he was diabetic. He was on an eating schedule. He had to eat at a certain time. After they wanted them to stay there all night, they wanted him to stay all night. He told them that he was on an eating schedule, so he would either need to leave and go get something to eat so he could take his insulin, or he just needed to go and then he would come back the next day.
Oh, and he didn't have his insulin with him either.
And Rhonda fired him at the behest of James. I wish they would.
So she said.
Yeah, so he said. So wait, so she said?
That's what she said.
She said James told her to do it?
She didn't make a move without James telling her what to do.
Yeah, I wish they would have explored that relationship a little bit more because many people were saying that they were involved. And when they asked her about it, she just kind of skated around. Oh, absolutely not. Well, obviously he didn't choose you, so of course you would say that now. You know, I don't know. There were some things that they skated on, and I wish they would have explored it a little more. Another worker said that he contemplated suicide because they were breaking his spirits. He was talking about how he would they would give him a theme, and he would go and create a design and come back, and James wouldn't like this, and he would berate him and send him back to redo it, and the guy would come and show him James something else. James would repeat the process, turn it down, and berate him, and he was contemplating suicide. And Rhonda, Miss Thing, not minding her business, I don't know if she told James, but I mean, she was the one who, if James told her or how it got back to her, but she actually fired him and accused him of doing freelance work while in their building.
James told her.
And he said, "No, I'm not doing freelance work here. I'm doing my freelance work at home. If you're gonna pay me $8.25, you better know I'm doing some freelance something somewhere. You can't worry about what I'm doing with the rest of my time, and you're not paying me to have 100% of my time." Another employee noted that her husband was this is in regard to unfair working conditions or unrealistic work expectations. A woman's husband was injured. One of the workers, her husband was injured in an ATV accident. He was in a body cast, and she wanted to stay with her husband at the hospital. And Lisa was furious about it because she wasn't at the job.
Some function that Lisa had to go to.
And so Lisa accused the woman of having low work quality and fired her for that. But why do I have here 15 years quit, felt relief when quitting? Maybe she didn't get fired. Maybe she quit. Or maybe this happened. The husband thing happened after she had been working there for 15 years. And that was the last straw for her. So she quit.
Could have been.
Yeah. Now, going back to Lisa's kids, there were two of them, Forrest and Hunter. Hunter has nothing to do with Lisa. Forrest seems to be Lisa's favorite. Another venture that the Lisa Frank company ventured on, because they went defunct for a little while. They kind of closed down. They weren't producing as much. And then a company called Glamour Dolls did a makeup collab with them. And this was kind of the spark of all the collabs that they've had recently. They had Morph makeup. Is it Morph or Morphe? One of those. They had Crocs. They had Caseify for phone cases. They've had several new collabs that kind of put them back on the map. And the Morphe or Morph, I'm just gonna say Morph, but correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. The Morph makeup collaboration actually came as a result of the failed collaboration with Glamour Dolls. Glamour Dolls was a smaller company, and I think it was made up of 2 or 3 people, and they partnered with Lisa Frank to create a makeup line that was Lisa Frank inspired. But Lisa Frank wanted $125K from them to start, or maybe it was 50 something K. That was just to even get her to entertain the idea. And then afterwards, more money was involved, or more money was required. But after a while, Lisa Frank was not really cooperating with the designs or with the ideas. They would give her something, she would say, "No, I don't like this," and they would have to go back to the drawing board and start over. There was a lot of back and forth. In the meantime, though, I don't know why they would have done this without already having the products set in stone, but they had created a website and they were taking pre-orders for these products. So there are people who've already spent their money, earned these products. They had a projected ship date, but because of the back and forth with Lisa Frank, the products weren't dropped. And because the company was small and they had given so much money to Lisa Frank, they didn't have the money to give everyone a refund. So one of the founders, she ended up walking away from the company. She filed bankruptcy. Her parents, who didn't have much money, bailed her out. And Lisa Frank issued a statement saying that they pretty much weren't to blame. It was that the Glamour Dolls came to them and didn't have their stuff together. Now, all throughout this documentary, all these people are talking about Lisa. And anytime they put a blurb on the screen, Lisa Frank was saying, "Oh, I love art. Art is such a creative way to express yourself," blah, blah, blah. She never responded to any of the claims. And I guess at this point, she doesn't have to, because you're either going to purchase products from her company or you're not. And apparently she was known for lawsuits because her son Hunter mentioned that he didn't want to say too much about her or she might sue him. There was a man who was involved with the Glamour Dolls group, and somehow Lisa Frank got him to take her and her son Forrest to Italy for his graduation. And it was written up as a business trip, but it somehow just became another money swindle, which ultimately led to the Glamour Dolls going out of business. Now, this was a 4-part series, a 4-episode series. The last person on the series to complain was Amina Maculio. Sorry if I say her name wrong. From YouTube, the one who had Cloudland, and everything in her room was colorful and all of this stuff. Well, apparently she had Lisa Frank-esque inspiration, or maybe her room was just colorful and along the same lines as Lisa Frank. I don't think the room was called Cloudland. I don't think she had the dolphins and the leopards and things like that, but it was just more so the vibrant colors and the rainbows and the unicorns. Apparently, according to Amina, Lisa Frank DM'd her and was commenting on her style, commenting on Cloudland. And eventually the communication stopped. Boom, next thing you know, Lisa Frank is opening up a pop-up hotel across the street from where Amina lives. And even more ironically, the first day of Lisa Frank's pop-up announcement, Amina is evicted from where she was staying. Now, I hate that for her, and it's not fair. And I can understand that she was frustrated because of how much work she put into Cloudland and how much time and her own resources she put into making it a space that she was happy to live in, a space that she felt like represented her. Period, full stop, next sentence. Whenever you don't own a property, it's very risky. You always run the chance of losing your time, your work, and your money if you make structural changes because you don't own the place, you know? So it was dirty of them to put her out. Period, full stop, next sentence. Now, as far as Lisa Frank copying her, that was dirty. That some of the people who were working with Lisa Frank, they quit Lisa Frank and stopped doing art altogether. They just moved and changed all trajectories so that they could be happy. And one lady who went to work for a competitor was also sued by Lisa Frank. Girl, get over yourself. You are not the only person out here doing art. So really, I felt like the documentary was a little lackluster. Lisa Frank did some shady things, but I don't see how it's any different than these other companies who are doing the same thing. All of these companies care about the bottom line. None of them care about their employees' safety. They don't care about their employees' family. They don't care about their employees' sanity. They don't care about whether they're stealing work for their employees. All they care about is making more money. So why is there such outrage for Lisa Frank doing the exact same thing? The outrage should be, there should be outrage for the entire system. But what is it about Lisa Frank that is just so incredulous? Is it because her products are marketed toward children, or because it's supposed to be so colorful and giddy and it's the exact opposite of that? Like, what?
It's because it's not becoming of a woman. It's pure and simple. This is a man's world. Whatever they do, they can do.
What do y'all think? Let us know in the comments. Did you watch the documentary? Did you like it? I was expecting to hear more bombshells because I've seen comments where people saying they hate Lisa Frank and this and that. In the end, karma pulls cards and takes names. So